really good. Yes, and dramatic. I love it. It's really well done, this video. Time for another THOR Reactions, of course, to a Lovebites video. First of all, I'm sorry I didn't do one last week. The reason was I was in the UK whole of last week, just like Lovebites was, right, with the whole DragonForce thing. So I didn't do any, like, you know, extra videos or whatnot, right? And I actually was into the trip, because I wasn't just in London. I've been on the met before. But on this trip last week, I was in different smaller cities in the UK and so on. But anyway, I digress. This morning, I woke up, I was like, okay, let's do a Lovebites video. It's time. Then I saw that Miyako was gonna do this, like, piano cover of JUDAS PRIEST later today, guys. I've been waiting now, guys. The news got released. I'm sitting here this whole day, like, okay, finally go, guys. And I guess it's gonna be a whole piano solo from her, right? They do, of course, have, you know, the piano in the background, stuff like that. So I'm interested to see how it's gonna go, guys. And yeah, you know, it's pretty cool. Let's go out. I've never seen a solo before, a full solo from a Lovebites band member. If you guys, and of course, subscribe, slap and so on, right? And of course, recommend one of the Lovebites video to see. I think I've seen almost all of it. I have seen like a lot of this stuff now, so I'm happy they're, of course, come up with new stuff as well, right? There we go. I'm getting goosebumps, guys. I just love the piano solos. I genuinely do, yeah. You know, I genuinely do. Here we go, here we go. Oh, that was a great beginning there. I have to say one thing, guys. I really do like piano solos, right? And I'm gonna assume everyone knows about Ru's piano, right? Ru's piano, whatever you pronounce it, which is this, you know, woman, right, that plays the piano, and she plays different anime, but also like old video music, right? I love her channel, and I mean this seriously, guys. I was like her 20th subscriber. You know what I mean? I mean, literally, I subscribed to her before she had less than 100 subscribers. I think she had like 21 subscribers, something like that. I was like literally like one of the first person to ever subscribe to her. I mean literally. I think I've seen like all of her piano videos, almost all of them, right? So I'm a big sucker for piano covers, I am. I didn't mention it in all the videos, I'm sure of, right? That I used to play the piano myself, of course, as a kid. So I think it also aroused a little bit of me, like an emotional nostalgia, to be honest, right? Because you know how it goes. I was taught to play the piano by my grandfather. Basically, he and grandma, right, they had their own piano in their house, so forth, right, and they had a pretty big house and stuff like that, right? So I'm getting emotional there. Talk more later in the video, but yeah, I think immediately I always been really into different like piano stuff and so on. And then I used to play the piano, and I was a singer as well, right, in the in my high school band. But anyway, but yeah, her intro here was it was really good. Love it, starting get forward. And one thing that I think is so impressive, we'll probably see it more later, but it's kind of like for me watching, you know, like fighting game players, right? Like really high level fighting game players. I just really love the finger work, okay? And I know the videos are started, but whatever. This is my channel. I just really love seeing Miyako's fingers, right? I'm always so impressed just seeing just how quickly she's moving around that. And like I said, it reminds me of seeing like Daigo or someone play Street Fighter, right? It's just so amazing to me how quick someone can move their hands and whatever. Even if I'm like a whatever master, high rank master Street Fighter player currently. I think I'm the highest bison in Sweden, whatever. Like something like that. Even myself, even not quick too. It's like it feels almost like just it's so impressive seeing someone else doing it somehow. I don't know. Maybe I'm also. I mean, I have really high APM, I guess, to play StarCraft. So maybe it's kind of weird, I guess. I never really look at myself playing it, But I have like 400 RPM when I play hardcore, so maybe it's just yeah, maybe I was never thinking about it. Maybe I also move my hands in that speed. But anyway, I'm just really impressed at the beginning here. Let's keep going. long pause. I mean, people are angry at me now. People are angry at me. Long pause. But I don't know. I get excited, guys. Whatever. If I need to subscribe, like, leave a comment below. But this is where I make videos, right? If I feel like, okay, this gets me excited. Sometimes, right, when I feel like, oh, this is gonna be emotional. This is getting me into this thought process. I don't know. I just keep saying it, right? I know a lot of people just leave it to the end or whatever, but I feel that's just not organic, right? I want to be honest with you guys. But anyway, guys, let's keep going. This is what I mean. Look at the amazing finger work, you know. Like she's so talented, but I think it's beautiful. Like, but I'm also just amazed by people's skill level. Right? It's just, I think any kind of high level skill is beautiful. Yeah, I think it's very beautiful. Just washing your hands. There we go, this is the first part of the song there. Of course, a sign of, obviously I've heard Judas Priest before, so I know the actual song. I also have to say this is a really well done video. Honestly, yeah, because like I said earlier, I watched all of like Judas Piano and other people, right? And I've been on YouTube, you know, since the beginning, right? I don't mean my channel, but I mean I've been watching people on YouTube from the beginning, to be just accurate here. But I mean that I've seen a lot of different, you know, piano performance people over the years, right? You know, I subscribe to many of them, and while of course many of them are really amazing at playing the piano, I don't say they're bad actual piano, right? This video here is definitely feels different because it is a much higher production quality. You know what I mean? Like the actual camera work here on Miyako's hands and her fingers and the lighting and so on. This is a lot better than what I'm used to at watching YouTube piano players, right? I mean, of course, most of them are just people sitting in their home, right? You know, of course, yeah. But this is interesting here, honestly, because this is an actual like high-level produced video. It definitely feels a lot more like a serious musician, band or performer, whatever, right? Because yeah, but that's something that at least sticks out to me a lot now. Leave a comment below if you agree with me, but I mean, I guess I don't watch that many, like, how do I say it? I guess I don't subscribe to too many like piano performer. It's like an actual, you know. I think I subscribe to a lot of people that are just kind of hobbyists, right? Sitting at home playing their piano, you know. And of course I really love you know, like video game music, right? So I watch a lot of people playing different, like Two Sandercan or your classic like Final Fantasy music and so on piano. Right? I love those videos, right? It's all gonna be all goosebumpy. So those are mostly done by people sitting at their home, you know. So I think, yeah. So I think that to me is like, yeah, it's very different though, because this also is like a really high, it's a really well directed and produced video, certainly. This is what I mean. This is really good. Yeah, it's like dramatic. I love it. It's really well done, this video. Yeah, I'm sorry to stop again there, but I want to really emphasize it. It's really well done. Like, it actually is really well camera done. I'm really impressed by it. I mean, obviously she's playing fantastically. And then you see this camera, you know, coming down from like kind of like the side of her hands, right? She's like hitting the tendon hard. then the camera suddenly goes over her hand, and it goes back again. Then you see her back a bit, see her face a bit. Like it's really well done in the way where she's kind of like doing the kind of more dramatic pressure, right? Then the camera kind of a bit. Yeah, it's that now. That's really good. Like it's really, really good. Like it's like like I'm broken record, but like seriously, that bit there that they led for like the 12 second there, that was just fantastic. That was even better than before. Yeah, that was like really, really well done. The different camera angles on her hands, right? And of course she's playing fantastically, and they're really capturing that with the camera. So no, I kind of want to get my own piano and record myself doing this properly, something. Yeah, something like that. But that was really that part was great. That part was great. But like I said, I mean, of course, I heard Painkiller before, right? And I have actually probably myself also played some JUDAS PRIEST on the piano and the synthesizer when I was younger. Used to play, I mean, I mentioned earlier, right? I'm a big Kiss fan, so I used to play a lot of Kiss. Also, of course, I played more than one instrument, of course, but and I was a very big fan of Michael Jackson, right? When I was a kid, that was like my favorite artist, Kiss and Michael Jackson. So I used to play all the, you know, Billie Jean and so forth, right, on the piano, yeah, all the time. The first performance I ever did on a piano myself then at school, right, was not Billie Jean, the second one. First one I did was yeah, Bad. I'm Bad. Yeah, that's the first thing I played. My own first piano, like yeah, no, but seriously, and I sang the song, of course, I'm bad, yeah. And of course I sang and I played it. Yeah, that was the first thing I performed as. It was Michael Jackson's Bad, yeah. It's also really exhausting, I feel. Yeah, this is like almost 7-minute long video. Trust me, guys, she's like this, like burning all the calories. No, but it is a physical performance. I think people underestimate how hard it is actually to play like a song without a break, right, for some long time. Oh, that's really good. It's amazing. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Sugoi, sugoi. That was really good. That was fantastic. She's an amazing artist. She played it really, really well. Do I love her more now than Midori? I don't know, guys. I mean, yeah. When do I get my, Midori does something solo, just Midori standing there like, this is good. I don't need anything else. I'm sorry. No, but Miyako's awesome too, right? Miyako is, of course, I keep calling her. She's, blue Uni, and Midori is red Uni, right? I know Midori means green, so it's maybe it's weird in that sense. But the whole thing, right, is that one of them is cool badass, right? The other one is hot badass. And I mean hot as in fire, not like hot as in... Well, obviously it's both hot and... But you get my point, right? Yeah, she's very much that, like... The cool as a cucumber, right? I've seen some music videos. I love how she's kind of... Usually she has that... Yeah, this like stellar ice look, right? In her soul as well. Which I really, really like. And I think that overall, I said it meant that before, but we look at the whole band of Lovebites... When they're doing their like duels and solos and so forth, right, back and forth, right, it's a really good, contrast or juxtapositioning, right, so forth, right. It is kind of weird, maybe weird is a hard word for it, but it is kind of strange, perhaps, when you have a band and everyone's like a hot-headed, like, oh yeah, like it's kind of, it's preferably with someone who's like Miyako when they kind of like play off each other, right? Then it's having like 5 people that are all like crazy, super aggressive, right, so to speak. Yeah, this is kind of weird. No, so I really like her style. It's fantastic, and it does fit the piano, of course, well, definitely. Like I said, overall, it was a really good directed video. I really enjoyed all the different camera angles, the scenes. There was some cool padding on her face, a little bit like a color saturation change and so forth, right? So yeah, it's a really well like directed, so to speak, performance, right? Definitely. But I'm a bit over that early, of course, but absolutely. She played all the different parts really great, and like I said earlier, though, I mean, like I said, I played the course myself many times, and this is hard, I guess. Yeah, this is hard. This is like a 7-minute performance without any break, right? It is seriously hard, man. You're playing a solo like that. I mean, usually you only play for a short bit, right? When you play a solo, and the other person, in your band takes over, whatnot, right? But I mean, overall, right? I think people really do underestimate how physically tiring it is, right, to perform, for like a few hours, perhaps training before and so on, right? Being any kind of musical artist, right, doing long performances is definitely not taxing on your body, right? Absolutely. No, but this is a nice video. It was also quite different, I suppose, right, than what I'm used to. Of course, with Lovebites, it's only one person here, so it's kind of nice looking at her. Her skills by herself. I mean, obviously I know she's a talented artist before this, I mean, of course, but it's the first time I see a video only about her, right? So that's nice, and I wouldn't mind, of course, having one with Midori as well, and so forth, you know what I mean? No, but that is great, but I think overall, and I think this is something that we talked before the channel, right, is that when it comes to music, and I think actually art in general, I have very rarely met, or seen, whatever you call it, met an artist that can only play one instrument, right? Usually it's like, if you can play the piano, you can also play the guitar, you can play this thing, right? And I think if you have this interest in some kind of musical art, you tend to kind of be able to play, all different kind of instruments. And of course not maybe on the same level, right? But you can play, if your main instrument is the piano, you're like a 10 out of 10 piano player, you can pick up, other instruments, let's say the guitar then, or whatever, the flute or whatever, right? And maybe get like a 5 out of 10 or something. So I think it was fun seeing someone that is known for playing X instrument, now she's playing Y instrument instead. It also, of course, a high level of skill, right? That being said, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think I've heard that she started with the piano before she went over to something else. Like I said, leave a comment below if that's accurate, but I read before at least. And in my experience, like I mentioned earlier, I started with the piano as well. That's kind of in my family, and so I think that's pretty common, right? That you start with the piano. With the piano, you can play kind of any song in a sense, right? So I think that's very common, right? You have your kid, like I said, my grandpa taught me piano first. Then I also had piano, a teacher or whatever, right? And I was like 7, so having piano at school, so big, right? And so on. And that to me feels like a classic system, right? If you have your kid first teaching the piano, then you can go to other instruments. I think a lot of musicians have started with the piano, right? Because it's kind of like the main thing, and then you can kind of learn to doors up after that. And to me, it makes a lot of sense. It would be kind of funny if you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna teach my kid what's it called, the little triangle thing. Yeah, you start with this thing in a triangle, and then we go from that. Yeah, no, this is kind of weird, right? This seems kind of weird. So, but overall, I also think it's fun to see someone also showing off all the skills or whatever, right? And I mean, maybe it's even more impressive. And I'm gonna jump a little bit, sorry for that. But obviously, I worked, in the creative industry. With Disney and gaming and so forth, right? And I also find it really, really impressive and fun overall, guys, when I met some coworker, right? And they're like a really good, let's say artist, and they can also do something else, right? Yeah, and they suddenly have some other skill too. That's even more fun, though. I have to say, when someone has they're really good at X thing, right? That's what they work with. And then they can also do this thing. Like, well, how can you do that thing? That's not even it's not even like remotely relatable, but they're both kind of artistic, right? Kind of like somebody can, sing really well, but they're also really good at, like drawing or something. Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, they're both art, but it's like, completely different. Like, how can you also do this thing? Yeah, that thing is even more funny when someone has like really high skill level in like another art kind of genre, so to speak, right? As a side note, when I was flying to UK then 2 weeks ago, like the end of 2 weeks ago, then I actually met an artist. And I want to say her name now and whatever, but I met her randomly on the plane there, and she was an artist on Disney. She worked on Avatar and so on, and it was kind of interesting. Yeah, it's kind of funny because we sat there talking, of course, about art and mostly art, not art as in drawing and illustrations and so forth. And I was really it was kind of just random coincidence, like meeting a person, and she knew someone I knew, and it was just, sometimes the world is just a small world, right? Suddenly, like, oh wait, you know that guy? Yeah, that was my old coworker 10 years ago. Yeah, well, oh yeah, I'm gonna meet him now in London. Like, what? Yeah, so it was weird. It was weird, man. Yeah, it was weird. And then she knew one of my family members is an artist, and she knew his art and so on. She was like, oh yeah, I subscribed to that guy's channel and blah blah. I was like, whoa, it was one of those like really small world things. But I think overall though, when you get into very explicit kind of skill level, right? Like she's working this for 20 years, get a very explicit skill level and so on. Then it isn't that many people left, honestly in a sense. Yeah, but I worked at Disney, right, like many years ago. So those people are still there, right, so managers, right. And if you've been at Disney for like 20 years, right, there aren't that many people left, I mean, there can't be that many managers been there for so long, right. Yeah, I don't know, side notion, but it's just interesting in my head now. I was like, that was just like one of those weird, coincidence, right. We suddenly sit down with a person that is like that knows my old coworker, so I'm like, whoa, and knows one of my close family members of mine. I was like, what is this thing, right? It is kind of strange. Actually, and with this, guys, short side story, but this could be on video, but it was actually really funny. So the first time that I saw my day one at Blizzard, was working at Blizzard, right? I met this other Sweden, of course, because, I'm Swedish, Swedish Norwegian, and obviously then if you have everyone is like, oh, he's the new Swede, obviously, right? So then I meet another Swedish guy, right, of course. He's like, oh, I'm all Swedish, that's how it works, right? I into himself. And then I was like, oh, where are you from? He's like, I'm this thing. And then he told me that, oh, I used to play blah, 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 and this game, whatever, right? And then I was like, my childhood friend, he's the world champion in this game. I want to dox him now, but basically he was talking about he was currently playing this X game, right? And I'm just like, yeah, my childhood friend that I've known for like 25 years, right? He's actually like the high ranked number 1 in that game, and he won like the world championship, with his clan. I was like, I'm in that clan. And the guy's like, I'm in that clan. You know what I mean? I was like, what? Yeah, so that was that kind of weird small world. So he was also called Swedish, right, I suppose. But yeah, so he was he knew my shadow friend for like the last 10 years. They've been playing that game, in a clan for like the last 10 years together, right? It sounds like, what, you know him? I was like, yeah, I was in his house last month. And I was like, well, that's my hometown. But I think that, like I said, right, it is like a small world thing, because obviously how many Swedes are actually working at a company like Blizzard outside of Sweden, right? We can't be that many, right? So obviously we probably will know each other. If we don't know each other, we probably know someone back home, because it can't be that many people getting up in a kind of hierarchy or skill level that actually meet each other. So it's like, oh yeah, of course you know him. But he was like, yeah, that's where you're from? I was there like 3 weeks ago. I was like, whoa, man, you met this guy? That's my brother. I was like, what? Yeah, that's kind of a weird feeling, right? So anyway, guys, small world. We get subscribes and have a great day.